Good evening and welcome everybody to our board meeting. The agendas are posted around the room. We welcome anybody that also might be virtual with us. And this is an exciting night. So we'd like to get started with our music performance by Shelby West and Logan Morrell from Roy High School. And I'm just going to turn the time over to Nina Doxey. Nina, will you introduce them and what the news is, please? They're done. Shelby will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So thank you.
If only there was a way I could grab a hold of something just to make time stop. Just so I could keep looking at you. So I could keep looking at you.
You snuck up on me, Jack Kelly. I never even saw it coming.
For sure.
For sure. Till the moment I found you, I thought I knew what love was. Now I'm learning what is true. That love, the world finds ways to sting you. Then one day decides one night may be forever, but that's alright. That's alright. And if you're gone tomorrow, I have something to believe in. Now that I know you believe.
It's never meant to meet, and then we meet. Who knows why? One more stranger on the street, just someone sweet passing by. An angel come to save me, who didn't even know she gave me something to believe in for even a day. One day, maybe forever, but that's okay, that's okay. Tomorrow, what was ours still will be. I have something to believe in, now that I know you believed in me. You know what I believe in. Look into my eyes and see. If things were different,
What, if you weren't going to Santa Fe?
and if you weren't an heiress, if your father wasn't after my head,
You're not really scared of my father.
no. But I am pretty scared of you.
Don't be.
Tomorrow,
What was I?
I have something to believe in. Now that I know you believed in me. Something to believe in. Now that I know you believe in me.
Please stand and repeat the pledge with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hang on 1 second. What do you guys plan on doing? First, tell us what grade you're in.
We're both.
There you go. What are you going to do with your talent after school?
I plan to keep taking lessons and go to Weber State.
Theater and then Broadway. Nice job, you guys. Let's give them another round of applause. It's fun to get back to meetings where we can have faces and have entertainment like that. So thank you, Nina, for that. Board, our first item on the agenda would be the consent calendar, and I'd entertain a motion to accept. Move Janice. Second by Dean. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. So the discussion and action item would be the approval of the school name, mascot, and colors on the recommendation for the new high school. Miss Gina Butters, please.
Great board. President Ritchie, Superintendent Stevens, I'm so excited to stand before you and kind of walk you through for a few minutes process we've been through in our district over the last 3 months. And it's been an exciting process. And I'm really proud of where we are. And I think we're going to show you, just give you a visual and an understanding of where we're at in terms of naming the new high school that is soon to be built in Taylor, and construction is underway. So I'll kind of walk you through that. Trent, it looks like my clicker is having problems. We were hoping it wouldn't, but okay. So first of all, I wanted to talk a little bit about where the new school is located. And you can see the address located squarely in Taylor, Utah. It's set to open in August of 2024. And it's hard to believe, but we will be opening this new high school 30 years after the opening of our last new high school, which was Fremont High School 30 years ago. It's the largest project associated with our successful November 2021 bond, and it has a pretty hefty price tag, and we want to get this right. We want to get the naming of this building right because it is going to serve the community for a lot of years. We had the great Lane Finley, our PR guy, put together a wonderful quick little video snippet of where things are at right now. So would you go ahead and play that for us, Trent? my input to that gets my heart thumping. Isn't that going to sit in just a nice location? It's got these majestic views all around, right square in the middle of the community that it serves. We're super excited about it. So what's the journey been like to tonight and to the naming process? It's been 3 months long. And I want to just take you through a few steps so that you understand there's a process that we go through in our district as per policy 6600 in the naming of schools and facilities. And we put a committee together that includes representation from all employee groups and from parents and community council and PTA, community members. I won't read everything that I've got on the slides tonight. I packed quite a bit of information into it, but you can see that we pulled from several communities. We're looking at all of those elementary school communities, junior high school communities, and high school communities. We haven't done the boundary adjustment yet that will dictate which students go to which schools, but we're looking at quite a bit of representation that could be impacted. So we wanted to make sure everybody's voice was heard and represented. There are a lot of committee members. You can see we expanded the committee, and our great board member, Paul Wittison, represented the board on the committee. You can see we had district leaders, school principals, certified staff, classified staff, community council, like I talked about. We had students and parents that were on the committee, and we also gave every student in these communities an opportunity to weigh in on a survey, a voting survey. And then as directed by board policy, I chaired the committee, and it was one of the great honors of my career. I enjoyed this process so much. I have to give a special shout out to the committee members. They volunteered their time, and it was a 3-month process. There was a lot of discussion. 3 meetings that were 2+ hours each with a lot of back and forth email and looking at survey results. And then I have to point out a special lady right over here, Sherry Hyder, put 2 Qualtrics surveys together for us that were comprehensive. We wanted to make sure that we did this right, and Sherry has so many hats she wears here at the district, and she put aside some things for us and helped us so much getting those surveys together. So I want to thank Sherry so much. Thank you, Sherry. The second step for our process was to send out a survey to everybody in the district. We wanted everybody in the district, parents, students, employees, to have an opportunity just to give us some ideas. This wasn't a voting survey. This was just give us some input. And you can see, I broke it down by names, mascots, and colors. You can see that we had some names and things rise to the top. If you see a strike through it, the committee determined that we weren't going to look at those particular suggestions because we have schools that already have those names or mascots represented. And we wanted to make sure this was kind of a unique process. So you can see some of the input that came to us. We had 1,800 plus respondents to that survey, which Sherry would say was statistically significant. I learned a new word, a couple of words there. The third step, as a committee, we really had to get around what is our purpose? What are we trying to get done here? We wanted to pick a name that related to the area, the topography, the traditions, the values, and the history in the community. We needed a mascot to tie to that name that was derived from a real or fictional character, depicts attributes of the traditions, values, strengths, or history of the individuals it represents. And then we wanted to, of course, associate appropriate colors with it that would make it really pop, that would bring it to life. And really, our purpose as a committee was to bring 3 or 4 suggestions forward to the board and say, here's what we've come up with through this process. 4th step, we became historians a little bit. We dug into the history of Weber County and especially that area. And I won't, again, read through all of those things, but we looked at physical features of the area. We looked at the animal life that's inherent to the area. Looked at the domesticated animals that are prolific in the area. Human occupants that have settled in that area or at least spent some time there. And then, of course, we all know that the west side of our district is very, very strong, has very strong ties to agriculture and industry and farming. And it's been a very rural community. It's developing fast, but those are the historical roots. The 5th step was to take what came in on the input survey, the committee got together, went through all of those submissions and decided we want to add some more names to the list so that we could send it out to the communities and get their vote. We wanted them to narrow things down. And so you can see there in blue, those were the names that we added to the voting survey. Lakeside, Westfield, Grandview, Three Peaks, Bayview, Bridger, Heritage, along with Taylor, Haven, Riverbend, and Bayside High School. Okay. Mascot choices were added as well. The ones in blue were added to those that came in on the original input survey. Lightning, Thunderbirds, or T-Birds. Coyotes, Storm, Wolverines, the Thundering Herd, which was kind of a fun one, were added to the rest there that are listed. Okay. The sixth step of our process was to take all of that information and dig through it. We had almost 4,000 respondents on that survey, which was a great representation. And the only people that we asked to vote on that survey were those that fit in that second line there, those that lived within a 2-mile walk radius of the new high school location, 6th to 9th graders, parents of those students, employees of potential schools impacted, and committee members. And again, those were the school communities that we surveyed, listed there. This is a little fuzzy, but I just wanted to point out something as I get to this point in the presentation. You can see that clustered there in this area, you can see Taylor kind of right there in the middle. And my pointer is not working real great here. But Taylor's right in the middle, but you can see all of these different communities that are so historically significant and have such strong ties to the area surrounding that location in Taylor. And that will become, the reason I'm pointing that out will become a little bit more relevant here in just a second. So on both surveys, we had a lot of support for Taylor High School because of the location of Taylor, its location in Taylor, in that part of the county. And as we talk that through, I want you to walk with me, board, a little bit. I'm a Bonneville High graduate, and I grew up in Uinta, South Ogden area. What if, because Bonneville was located in Washington Terrace, we had called Bonneville High School Washington Terrace High School? Would it be representative of Riverdale, the kids from Riverdale that would be coming to that school, the kids from South Ogden, from Lower and Upper Uinta? We decided that we wanted to really pay attention to the community's wishes, but we went a little deeper. We wanted to make sure that the name reflected not just the place, but that it was inclusive and that everybody that came to that school felt like it was their school. Does that make sense? So the new school will pull from many different communities, and we wanted to make sure it was descriptive. We know, in looking at our historical diggings that we did, that Taylor was established in 1851 and was originally known as the Westfield. Isn't that cool? The Westfield. It's a proper noun. It signifies the name of a specific place, a special place, the Westfield. So we kind of kept that in our mind as we looked through all of the data. And we decided as a group, as a committee, that we really started to lean and move towards reimagining Taylor into this Westfield concept, okay? So here are the top school names that came out of our committee's study and discussions and voting, internal voting. We had all sorts of discussions around these. The 3 in red were the most popular: Westfield, Lakeside, Grandview. Westfield speaks to the history. Lakeside speaks to its proximity to some of the waterways out in that area. Grandview spoke to the views, that majestic view of the mountain range, that the school will have kind of a northeastern facing orientation. Westfield, though, I need to point out, board, was the top recommendation by the naming committee. Okay. Mascots. We narrowed things down. We crossed out Mustangs because we have some Mustangs in our elementary, one of our elementary schools. The 3 names in red rose to the occasion: the Ducks, the Longhorns, and the Thunder. The Ducks spoke to kind of the more recreational aspect out there and some of the waterfowl that is characteristic of the area. The Longhorn speaks squarely to the historical nature and the rural farming nature of the area. And then the thunder came about through the committee because there's some storms that roll in over that area. Ducks, though, and longhorns were clearly the top recommendations by the naming committee. Okay. Primary colors. The ones in red were the ones that rose to the top. Kelly medium green, burnt orange, kind of that Texas orange, University of Texas orange, purple. And then here's where it gets really interesting. Our committee had some members that made a great suggestion. We decided that if we want to create a high school that has a real unifying presence, why not bring a color from Roy High and a color from Fremont High and tie it into the color scheme somehow. So we decided as a committee that it would be important to recommend to the board that we tie in silver from Fremont and black from Roy High School into the color scheme. And we were really kind of proud of that and excited about that. Okay. One thing I need to mention though, these two colors could squarely be accent colors. They don't have to be a primary or secondary color. So board, here's the recommendations, and I want to point out, this seems like a lot. We wanted to make sure we showed you that it took us quite a while and we had a lot of information to get to narrow it down to these 4 names. But as we got to the end of our process, there's no doubt that Westfield was named the most popular school name choice out of the committee's work. And then you can see Ducks was popular, but Longhorns was mentioned with 2 different selections. We listed for you there some colors, possible additions. For example, on the Westfield Ducks, with the green, black, and silver, it would make a lot of sense to add the yellow or white to that, to make that pop. If we went with the Westfield, if you decide to go with the Westfield Longhorns, again, let's bring in kind of that neutral color of white. And then you can see the other 2 choices, and I need to point out that the 3rd choice, Grandview, and Lakeside, the 4th choice, were not nearly as popular as the first 2 choices amongst the committee. Okay. Westfield High School, here's our rationale board, and that's part of 6600, is to explain to you why we are suggesting and recommending Westfield as the name of the new high school. It represents the wishes of the committee and the community's input. It's the most popular name to come out of the process, and it's Taylor reimagined. It reflects the original name of the place the high school will be located with a twist, kind of a fun, more inclusive twist. It reflects the rural farming, agricultural, production-oriented industry of the area, and Westfield would be a unique name in secondary schools in Utah. There is one Westfield Elementary, but you can see that they have not used a proper noun on their title, and that makes us special, okay? One in Alpine, Utah. So here's really what it comes down to as far as our recommendations. We're recommending Westfield Ducks or the Westfield Longhorns, with the caveat that Longhorns and Westfield have probably risen to the top of the heap with these color schemes. And I just want to show you, because it's really hard to get a rendering and an idea in your mind without a visual. And so we went to the great Abe Delabout at Coleman Knitting, and I can't tell you, he pulled off a miracle. He put together some specs for us in a short period of time, just so that we could have an option of looking at what possibly these colors and schemes could look like together. And so I'm going to show you those here in just a minute. But let's talk a little bit about the Ducks as a mascot. It was a popular pick by the community and committee. The Oregon Ducks are super popular right now. The branding, the color schemes are already in place. There's lots of ideas for logos, etc. It represents the waterfowl, the bird refuge, duck hunting clubs that are in near proximity. One of our great committee members pointed out that there's that premise of the flying V that exists with ducks and geese, where they fly in a V in a unified way to help each other get places. And we thought that was kind of a cool theme. Ducks have great vision. You can see some of their characteristics there that we've looked into. And the green color is representative of the Westfield, of a certain time of season out there, and renewal and growth. And then, of course, we always want to throw in the black and silver preference of unity, signifying unity. So I want to show you what Abe Delabout and the knitting folks, his great folks at Coleman came up with. So this is just an example of what those colors could look like if you added in the white and or yellow. It doesn't necessarily need to be the logo if this is where we go, but it just shows you how those colors would go together. Okay. All right, thanks, Trent. Really quickly, let me show you the other suggestion or recommendation. Why would we recommend the Longhorns to you? It was a very popular pick by the community and committee. It reflects the rural farming, herd, livestock inherent to the area. It's very popular. University of Texas has made the burnt orange, and the Longhorn very popular as a brand. The committee thought the thundering herd theme would be cool. There's a thundering herd piece that could be brought into stampedes, togetherness. There's an aggressive connotation to that. Bulls and raging bulls was a very popular choice on our surveys, but bulls aren't gender neutral. I learned something, Longhorns are. Females and males have horns. Okay, so we're including, being very inclusive there. They come in all sorts of colors and patterns, but the burnt orange is a very popular color of the longhorn. They can travel long distances, survive long spells without water. They're known for their strength and hardiness, and they aggressively protect their herd. The burnt orange is very reflective of the natural colors of the area as well. The fields, freshly tilled, fields, dirt roads, and again, we wanted to tie in the unity theme with the black and silver. It should be pointed out that it is a different orange than the orange used by Ogden High School, so that's nearby. Okay, there go Tigers. There you go, Doug. One thing the committee felt was that there was no doubt that we felt like if we're going with a historical context and a historical tribute to the area, Westfield, Longhorns, the rural nature there, they seem to go together a little bit, just more logically to us. It just would be a really nice piece to have that name and that logo, that mascot put together. Trent, would you show them kind of what they came up with the rendering? So that's how the colors would look in terms of the Westfield Longhorns. So great board, I'm going to turn it over to you. As a committee, we've narrowed it down to 2 possible Westfield options. The mascot is the difference, the colors are the difference, but again, I would need to point out that Westfield and Longhorns were included in 2 of the 4 overall recommendations. I'll turn it to you, unless you have any questions for me.
Just stay there for a minute,
Okay.
if you would, Gina. Thank
Okay.
you for that
Mhm.
presentation.
Yep.
Board, I would open up for discussion. Is there any discussion? Mr. Widdowson,
May I please?
please.
Gina, thanks so much. With everything going on in your life and in the past few months,
Hey, I've been dreaming
you've
about
done-
ducks and Longhorns. It's been great. It's been
and,
great.
and the history of the West Side, you've done a great job. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
It's been a pleasure to serve with the committee, many of whom are in this room here tonight. What a great opportunity to get together. The hundreds of suggestions that we had went from one end of the spectrum to the other, didn't they? It was amazing, and there really wasn't, well, with the exception of a couple, there really wasn't any bad suggestions. Uh, oh, you ask students, sometimes they get creative, huh? Full experience. I want to thank Mr. Zellmer over there in the corner. Scott brought some sense of reason on this. He kept reminding us, as you choose colors, we need to decorate a school in these colors. This needs to be something that we can adorn brick and mortar with and make it look good. And we need to not just look at this school opening in 2024. In 60 years down the road, is this still going to be a good color choice and a good combination? So Scott was very valuable in helping steer this whole committee together. The students, the parents, everybody just done a great job. I just had it was a great experience. with all of the discussion that we've had, not only with the committee, but as a board, President, I'd like to make the motion that Westfield High, uh, the Longhorns with the burnt orange, white, and accent colors black and silver.
Thank you, Board Member Whittison. There's a motion. I'd entertain a second. Moved by Janice and Bruce. Any discussion? Yes, Janice, please.
I don't know if this is, yeah, it's on. I just have to say, I stand in awe of the work that you and the committee did. I had no idea the hours and the whittling down and the determining that you went through in behalf of this student body, this community. And I'm so appreciative. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Janice. I also want to echo that and say thank you. This is the process of 6600 and the way you've led this, Gina, with everybody on the committee and the community helps us take ownership of what's going on. We don't do this very often, and it'll probably be a while before we do it again, or somebody else does this again. And I thank you for that entertaining that suggestion. I think that's a fantastic name with a mascot in the color. And with that, I'd entertain a motion to accept Westfield. Yes. Yes, I'm just taking a vote. Favor?
Aye.
I guess there's none. The motion passes. There we go. Scott, you got your job.
Can I add one more thing?
Absolutely.
You know, early on, there was a lot of talk about this being called Taylor High, as Gina mentioned. If any of you just want to laugh, because you just need a good laugh, have Scott Zelmer explain to you the Taylor Swift high school story. It's good.
It's creative, Scott. But now you got to go find those colors and get them going. Is that going to be able to be done? We're on it now. Attaboy. That's awesome. This is an exciting time in more ways than one to have a thank you constituents and those who are listening for the passing of the bond. We could not do this without your support. The kids, parents, the grandparents, everybody making this happen. And this is very, very big for us in more ways than one. And then to have everybody involved in what we just went through and now to see this thing rise out of the ground is going to be exciting. So thank you all. Should we move on to the next exciting thing? Administrative appointments for 2022-2023. Dr. Stevens, please.
Thanks, President. Let me mention one other thing related to this school that I think is significant. The name, my understanding from the committee, the name Westfield came from a book written, is it not on? Westfield came from a book called The History of Weber County. Someone had found a line in that book, The History of Weber County, that was co-authored by Richard Sadler, a longtime professor at Weber State University and a former board president in the Weber School District. Isn't that neat? That's where that ultimately came from. And so I think that's a great name, the Westfield Longhorns. Board, we have a number of administrative changes tonight, and those are all necessitated through retirements. So before we move to the appointments, can I just take a moment and recognize at the district level, Assistant Superintendents Art Hansen and Lori Rasmussen, who are both retiring. Scott Zelmer, our Director of Facilities, is retiring. Our careers have paralleled for over 30 years, and these are very great friends of mine, wonderful colleagues, but great friends. At the school level, we have Joanne Hobbs, principal at West Weber, Rick Proffer, principal at Birch Creek, Kitty Barney, principal at Roosevelt, Len Ward, principal at T.H. Bell, Bryce Balliff, assistant principal at Roy High School, and Darlene San Giorgio, assistant principal at Orion Junior High. If you look at the administrators who are retiring this year, there is a combined 285 years of service, and there is a combined 154 years in administration, all in Weber District. 154 years of administrative service. May we just recognize these retiring folks and give them a hand. It's deserving, and we'll find a time to recognize them even more formally before the end of the year. Boards handle these advancements in 2 steps. The first one will be rather quick, and I'll go through all of the proposed advancements rapidly. And then at the close of that, we'll call for a motion, President, and a second. And then we'll circle back after that approval and get to know, especially those who are receiving an advancement tonight, get to know them a little bit better. Propose the following advancements. To Assistant Superintendent, Dave Hells and Clyde Moore. To Executive Director, Larry Hadley. To Director, Brock Mitchell, Mary Jo Williams, Nicole Mybus. To Supervisor, Matt Williams, Heather Nilsson, and Jennifer Boyer Thurgood. To High School Principal, Rich Murray, Mike Martini, and Terry Spires. To Junior High Principal, Rob Lake, Quinn Talbot, and Don Morse. To Elementary Principal, Becky Dills, Shelley Harris, David Thal, Jeff Marchant, Crystal Deemer, Sherilyn Elliott, and Mike Yardley. High School Assistant Principal, Joseph Vieira, Jake Schultz, Ryan Catchold, and Steve Short. To Junior High Assistant Principal, Patrick Andrus, Ryan Waite, Jeff Jackson. To Secondary Intern, Skylar Kendall, Brad Gathercole, and Ryan Stokes. To Elementary Intern, Tana Chip, Rennell Cox, Heather Georgie, and Jennifer Thomas.
You've heard the proposals on the administrative appointments. I'd entertain a motion to accept. So moved by Jan, seconded by Bruce. Any discussion, board? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Dr. Stevens, please.
Thanks, President. Let's get better acquainted with them. Now, so I'm going to ask that you keep your remarks to 1 or 2 minutes. As I announce your name and begin giving some biographical information, I invite you to come forward. Assistant Superintendent Dave Hells, come on forward. Master's degree in elementary education, Master's of Education in Curriculum and Instruction, both from Weber State, and his administrative endorsement from Utah State. 29 years in education, all in Weber School District. He's been a teacher at Hooper Municipal Elementary. He was an elementary intern at Majestic and Lomanview. He's been the principal at Majestic, Valley, Far West Elementary Schools. He's been the elementary education supervisor for 2.5 years, and he's been the elementary executive director for about a month. Mindy have a son and daughter-in-law, 2 daughters, one son-in-law, Emily and Nolan and Amanda. Those granddaughters? They're daughters. Okay. Dave.
Test. Superintendent, President Ritchie, and members of our amazing board. Honestly, life keeps changing, and it's always good. The opportunities to serve the kids in this district are a huge blessing in my life, and something that I have learned to love over the years. Working alongside Gina and Clyde is a great privilege. I honestly feel very, very honored to even be standing here tonight with a chance and an opportunity to serve in this capacity. So thank you very much. I do want to add a happy thought as I close. Thank you for the high school's name. I live a stone's throw from the Longhorns. In my home, I've lived there for more than 25 years, and Westfield Longhorns will suit the place perfectly. So thank you again.
Thanks, Dave. Assistant Superintendent Clyde Moore. Clyde graduated from William Carey University with a Bachelor's of Science in Education, University of Phoenix, with his Master's in Educational Counseling, and Utah State with his Master's in Administration. Clyde has been in education for 28 years. He's been an administrator for 14 years. He was the principal at Mount Ogden Junior High, Sandridge Junior High, and he's been the district supervisor for the past 4 years. Clyde and his wife, Carrie, have 2 children and 2 granddaughters and a grandson on the way. Clyde, congratulations.
Superintendent, President Ritchie, Board, I want to thank you for this honor and your trust that you're showing in me to assign me to this position. I'm looking forward to working with Gina and Dave and moving this district forward. This is a great district. We're doing great things, but we're competitive people and we want to move it even further. And so I'm looking forward to that. So I'd like to thank you for your trust in me. I'd like to recognize my wife, Carrie, back in the corner. And I also got the remainder of my family watching on YouTube. And then I also got family in Mississippi Board watching this. So it might be the first time that Weaver District been exposed to Mississippi. So a little history maker here. So anyway, thank you.
In work on the Westfield Longhorn School. Larry, come on up. Larry has his master's in technology and curriculum. Let's see, his administrative endorsement, Weber State Bachelor and Small Business Administration from Weber State, teaching certificate in history, athletics, and a reading endorsement, all from Weber State. Larry has 22 years in education. He's been a teacher, a coach, an intern, a vice principal, junior high and high school principal. He's been our human resources director. He and his wife, Melissa, who works in our curriculum department, have 2 boys and 2 girls. The girls are both getting married this summer. Good luck. Okay? Larry.
I've been told I'm excited about that.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Yes.
Whatever the
Yes.
question is,
Yes.
the answer is yes.
Yeah, everything's lovely.
Yes.
First, I'd be remiss if I don't thank the HR department that I've had the opportunity to work for 4 years. Fantastic department. I remember 4 years ago, Jeff said, "Hey, you're going to be the HR director." I was like, "I don't think so." And 4 years later, here we are, and it's a wonderful department. I also want to thank Barb and Mike. I work with them almost on a daily basis in the negotiations. They're fantastic people, and I'm going to miss working with Barb an awful lot. So I appreciate it. I remember our first meeting, our first lunch with Barb. I walked away with Kevin. I was like, I don't think she's sold on me yet. And then 4 years later, I'm going to miss Barb tremendously. But I do look forward to working with Scott. And how could you not be excited about working with Kristen and Cody and all the maintenance department and transportation? Great people down there. I'd like to recognize my wife. She's the best thing I got. We just got back from Greece. We're on Greece time. I says, hey, wake me up in my office, because to me, it's like 4 in the morning. So, but it's nice to have my wife with me, and I appreciate this opportunity, and I look forward to working with Scott and moving forward. Thank you so much.
New Director of Secondary Education, Brock Mitchell. Brock earned his Bachelor of Science degree in Secondary Mathematics from UNLV. Also from UNLV is Masters of Educational Leadership. Brock has been in education for 18 years. He was a teacher at Coronado High School in Las Vegas, and then he moved to Orion Junior High, where he taught, Fremont High, taught, great math teacher at both those schools, administrative intern, assistant principal. He's been the principal at Bonneville High School, where he's done a great job. He and his wife, Alicia, who is the principal at Fremont High School, have a daughter, Atlee, and 2 dogs. Brock.
Dr. Stevens, board, I appreciate the opportunity. When I met with Dr. Stevens and Gina, the word that kept coming to mind was humbled. I'm incredibly humbled to be given the opportunity to continue to grow our district, grow our leaders in our district, and grow myself. It's something that, without a doubt, we need right now is strong leadership. And I've learned so much from my colleagues around the district, opportunity to work with Gina and Clyde and Larry. I owe Larry so much when I was his assistant. And I just know that this district is going to take leaps and bounds, move ourselves forward. And so I appreciate the opportunity. I look forward to working with the rest of the administrators in the secondary level and doing all I can to make us one of the top districts in the state. So thank you guys very much.
Our new Director of Elementary Education, Mary Jo Williams. Mary Jo has her bachelor's in elementary education from Utah State, a master's of education in curriculum and instruction from Weber State, and her administrative endorsement from Utah State. Mary Jo has 27 years in education, all in Weber School District. She taught 2nd and 4th grade. She was an administrative intern at Majestic. She's been the principal at Midland and currently the principal at Orchard Springs Elementary School. Remember, 6 weeks ago, we also appointed her as the elementary supervisor. We joke that she's the shortest serving elementary supervisor that we've ever had. She and her husband Kelly have 5 children and 7 grandchildren. Mary Jo.
Superintendent, President, Board. I can tell you, as I planned for board meeting this month, it was with no expectation to be here in this position. But I appreciate the confidence that you've shown in me to take on this position. I'm so very appreciative of the supervisor that you've appointed to work with me in Heather Nielsen. I've so appreciated the opportunity and felt privileged to work in Weber School District under the direction of Dr. Stevens and help try and accomplish the vision that he had for this school district. And I'm very excited to have the opportunity to work with Gina and the team that she's assembling to continue to make Weber School District such a great place to work. Thank you so much.
Our new Director of Human Resources, Nicole Mibus. Nicole has her bachelor's degree in English teaching. She has an English teaching major from Weber State, also a special education minor. She has her master's degree in school counseling from Utah State, and that's where she earned her administrative supervisory license. Nicole has spent 24 years in education, all in Weber School District. She's been a special education teacher at Weber High School, a counselor at South Ogden Junior High School and Weber High School, an assistant principal at South Ogden Junior High, Sanders Junior High, and Weber High School. She was the principal at Rocky Mountain Junior High, where she was named at that time the outstanding junior high principal in the state of Utah. She's been also the principal at South Ogden Junior High and currently the principal at Two Rivers High School. She and her husband Jake have 2 daughters and 2 grandsons. Cole.
Thank you, Superintendent Stevens, President Ritchie, and the amazing board of Weber School District. Thank you so much once again for your confidence and faith in me and giving me another fantastic opportunity in the best district that there is. So I thank you so much for your support for me. I'd like to recognize that my husband, Jake, and my daughter, Ashton, that are here with me. My other daughter, Cody, is at home with her 2 sons, and I think my parents are watching on YouTube too. So, hi, Mom and Dad. This is such an amazing district. I look around this room and look at the amazing people here and how many people have had such a huge impact and influence in my life. And I'm so grateful to be a part of this. I'm almost speechless with just the pride and respect of the people in this room. I'm excited to work with you, Barb. Laurie, I just hear nothing but amazing things. I've loved working with you, and I look forward to working with you more closely. So I thank you so much, and everyone, thank you again.
New supervisor of secondary education, Matt Williams. Matt has his Master's of Education and Administrative Endorsement, both from Utah State, Bachelor of Science degree from Emporia State University in Kansas. Matt has 26 years in education. Currently, he's the principal at Roy High School. Prior to that, principal at Roy Junior High School. Been an assistant principal at Roy High and Rocky Mountain Junior High. Matt was the head football coach at Bonneville High School, head girls basketball coach, and youth in custody teacher at Bonneville High School. Matt and his wife, Christy, have 4 children, and we welcome you, Matt.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Dr. Stevens, board, I appreciate the opportunity that lies ahead of us. I look forward to working with Mr. Mitchell. I call him the big fella because he's a little bit taller than I am. So I'm excited to work in secondary ed with the amazing educators and administrators that we have. There's some amazing things that are happening. I was a part of that committee that chose the name of the new school, and that shows what Weber School District is moving forward and just continuing to grow. People want to be in Weber School District, and it was an exciting process, a great process. I think it's been unrivaled when you think about the new schools that are showing up in the high school ranks right now, and I'm thoroughly excited for that to happen. But I'm excited for this new opportunity I have to work in this capacity, and I just thank everybody that has been a part of my life so far. I have my wife here with me tonight, Christy Williams. She's a teacher at West Weber Elementary. She teaches special ed there. My kids are probably watching somewhere from a lacrosse field or something. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Our new supervisor of elementary education, Heather Nielsen. Heather has her bachelor's degree in elementary education from Weber State and her Master of Education in instructional leadership from Utah State University. Heather has 23 years in education. She's been, currently she is the principal at Plain City Elementary, but she's also been the principal at West Haven. She was the principal of the Alpine Online School in Alpine School District and was an administrative intern in our district at Lakeview Elementary. She and her husband, Derek, have 3 children, a son-in-law, Carson, a daughter-in-law, first grandchild due next month.
Super exciting, right?
Yeah.
Superintendent, President Ritchie Board, I just want to express my gratitude for this opportunity to serve and for your confidence in me, and I want you to know that I will not let you down. I'm also so humbled to look around the room and see the amazing mentors that I have been so blessed with in my life, and thank you. I'm so excited to work with Gina. She's always been a great mentor to me. I've learned a lot from Gina and look forward to the opportunity to continue to work with and learn from you. I'd like to recognize my family who is here today. I have my awesome parents who have always been a great support to me, Paul and Paulette Barnes. I've got my husband, Derek, my son, Cody, and his wife, Kaylee. And out in the cheat sheet, oh, there they are, Carson and Megan and my daughter, Mikkel. But once again, I would just like to express my gratitude. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
this is a new position, supervisor of personalized learning, and we've had the privilege, I think, on several occasions to see just some of the extreme talent and gift that Dr. Jennifer Boyer Thurgood brings. Currently, Dr. Thurgood is the principal at our Weber online K-12 online program, and just doing amazing things. Jennifer has her Bachelor of Science degree in Business Management from University of Phoenix, Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education from Weber State, her Master of Art in Curriculum and Technology, Administrative Supervisory endorsement from Utah State, and her Doctor of Philosophy, PhD in Curriculum and Instruction with an emphasis in mathematics education and leadership at Utah State. During that time, Jennifer was putting together some very innovative elementary mathematics endorsement programs for our state, just doing remarkable work. Jennifer has been in education for 20 years. She's been a teacher's aide, taught 3rd, 4th, and 6th grade, as well as dual language immersion. She's been a technology specialist in our technology department while teaching part-time. She's also been a mathematics and education instructor at Utah State. She was a curriculum specialist in our curriculum department, and as I mentioned, currently the principal of Weber Online. She and her husband Brock have 5 children. Kel, who's serving a mission in Washington State, Tice, Liv, Gracie, and Bo.
Thank you, Superintendent Stevens, President Ritchie, and Board. I'm just humbled and grateful for this opportunity that you have afforded me in the supervisory position. I look forward to continuing to work with the directors in our district as well as Gina. I've worked directly for 4 of our directors who've been absolute mentors for me throughout my career. Carl Lindsay was my principal as I decided to take the leap into my doctoral work, who was very supportive. When Raymond, Nick Harris, and also Sherry Hyder in curriculum. It's amazing, and I'm humbled to be here. My very first position with Weber School District was working as a teacher's aide with a profoundly gifted student and providing personalized curriculum for him. And so it's fun to kind of come full circle and get to focus on that at the district level at this point. I'd also like to quickly thank my family, my husband who is home with our 5 children at all of their various activities, my parents, and also several other family members who are watching online. So again, my utmost gratitude and humility as I step into this service role. Thank you.
Point out that Dr. Thurgood will continue to serve as the principal at the Weber K-12 online school. We have a principal at Bonneville High School, new Admiral, Rich Murray. Rich, come on up. Rich currently is the principal at Roy Junior High School. Rich has his bachelor's, master's, and administrative license, all from Southern Utah University. 25 years in education. He was a teacher and coach at Weber High School. He was a high school assistant principal at Weber, Fremont, junior high assistant at South Junior High, and as I mentioned, currently the principal at Roy Junior High, where he actually opened that school as well. He's done a great job. Rich and his wife Ashley have 5 children, and we welcome you wearing Bonneville colors.
I'm all in.
Wonderful.
That's all there is to it. I am all in. President Stevens, I'm excited. Superintendent Stevens, President Ritchie, and the board. This is great. Like we love what we do. That's why we're here. We love our jobs. I love what I do. I'm so thankful, humbled. Everything I echo everything that everyone else says. This is an amazing place. I'd like to thank my beautiful wife Ashley. You know, she's always there. And then the other 2 guys right there, my daughter Carly, my son Jake, they've been on my hip since day one. I mean, they're always there. Our other children, Skylar and Gracie and Bo, couldn't make it tonight. So thank you so much. I'm excited. I'm excited to learn from Brock and follow what he has done and take Bonneville to the next level. This is awesome. I want to say hi to my brother Bob, who's watching from Vegas. What's up, Bob? And my mom, Jessie. What's up, Mom? So thank you. Thank you very much.
Rich has a great team at Bonneville for next year. Nicole Warren Doman will remain there as an assistant principal. Steve Short will move over from Walquist Junior High and become an assistant principal at Bonneville. And Shane Denton is the intern at Bonneville High School. Staying in the Bonneville Cone at the secondary level, Wendy Long will move from North Ogden Junior High School to South Ogden Junior High School as the principal, and an advancement with her assistant principal, Patrick Andrus. Patrick currently is serving as an intern at Fremont High School. Patrick earned his bachelor's degree in English and Spanish teaching from Weber State. He has his master's degree in educational leadership, 10 years in education. He's been an English and a Spanish teacher at Orion Junior High School, English teacher and Weber State adjunct instructor at Fremont High School with some concurrent enrollment classes, I'm assuming, Patrick. He's done his administrative internship at both Bonneville and Fremont High School. Patrick and his wife have 5 children. Congratulations, Patrick.
Thank you, Superintendent Stevens, John, and the board. I appreciate this opportunity to serve. It's a great opportunity. I think I taught Jake at Orion, so it's good to see you here. It's great. Education's a second career for me. I spent a lot of time in business, and every time I turn around in this, in education, I'm introduced to fantastic leadership that I never saw in the business world. Leaders who care about the community, care about kids, and just love. And I wouldn't trade this choice to come into education for anything. I'm so happy to be here. I appreciate the trust you show me. I appreciate my wife who's with me tonight, and the support through classes and college and all the things that go into standing at this mic today. And I'm so very thankful for her and for the leaders that I've had the experience to work with. Just so grateful to have landed in this district. So thank you so much.
Mentioned that Len Ward is retiring from T.H. Bell. The new principal at T.H. Bell will be Heather Hardy. Heather currently is the principal at Snowcrest, so she'll move to T.H. Bell. Heather's assistant principal will be Ryan Waite. Ryan currently is the intern at Weber High School. Ryan earned his bachelor's degree in secondary education, also from UNLV, master's degree in history from Utah State, master's degree in educational leadership from Western Governors University. Ryan has been in education for 22 years. He was a social studies teacher at Ogden High School and Roy High School. He was social studies department chair and student government advisor at both of those high schools. He was the administrative intern, as I mentioned, currently at Weber High. He and his wife, Connie, who is a teacher for us at Orion Junior High School, have 4 children. Ryan, congratulations.
Thank you, Superintendent, President Stevens, Board. It's good to see you in person. And I say that because Patrick, myself, and Brooke came in during the COVID year when this was virtual. So it's good to see that you're actually real people. I appreciate that. The longer I'm in education, the more I realize it's about people, right? It's about relationships. I wouldn't be here if not for relationships with a number of people in this room. I would not be doing this job without the new superintendent. Having her as my principal for 6 years at Roy High changed my perspective on what could be done in education. I could have landed at a better spot than Weber High for the past 2 years. And to work with Chris has been one of the highlights of my educational career. I'm excited to be at T.H. Bell with Heather. It's going to be great. Excited to get to work. Thank you for your trust. Before I sit down, I want to recognize my wife, Connie, my better half, and our 2 daughters, Kirsten and Emma, who are both at Roy High. Emma will be graduating here in a few weeks. She's a little excited. And we have our 2 sons, Jackson, who's currently serving a mission in Virginia, and Isaac, who is at home, can be with us. So thank you once again. I appreciate it.
Now moving to the Fremont Cone with the secondary schools there. Alicia Mitchell will remain as the principal at Fremont High School and would like to introduce you to Joseph Vieira, who is new to our district from California. And I'm hoping that we're able to bring Joseph in virtually. Trent, we connected? Wonderful. Joseph, welcome. Let me give just a little background. Joseph has his bachelor's degree from Loyola Marymount in natural science with an emphasis in physical therapy. He's got his master's degree in teaching, 11 years in education. Joseph has been a roving and long-term substitute, a baseball coach, a math teacher, athletic director, vice principal. He and his wife, Mackenzie, who is also an educator, have 3 children, Carly, Brody, and Kendall. Joseph, we want to welcome you to Weaver School District.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Hope you can hear me okay. Just want to say thank you for the opportunity. My family and I are very excited to move to the Weaver area and look forward to serving in the Weaver School District and working at Fremont High School. Families here, they can't hear me, but honor them. Don't put them not make too much noise down the hall. But thank you again for the opportunity. It's going to be a fast few months moving up there and getting set up, but really looking forward to it. Thank you again.
Thank you, Joseph. Completing that Fremont administrative team, Quincy Moglich will remain there as the assistant principal, and the intern, newly appointed intern, Skylar Kendall. Skylar has his Bachelor of Arts degree in Spanish from Weber State to be completed this summer, Master of Science in Educational Leadership from Western Governors. Skylar has spent 9 years in education where he's been a Spanish teacher of multilingual learners. He's been the advisor for our Latinos in Action. He's been a coach at Bonneville football, boys basketball, girls golf, track and field board. Some of you will remember a few years ago, Skylar was our district's Teacher of the Year. He and his wife Kennedy have 2 daughters and enjoy the outdoors. Skylar, welcome and congratulations.
Thank you. Superintendent, President, and Board. First of all, I recognize that my resume is a lot shorter than all the others that have been read off so far. I recognize that and just want to mention that I am very humbled to have your support and your confidence. I'm excited to be able to serve students in a new capacity. I have a passion for working for kids and serving the kids here. I'm a product of Weaver School District. Went to Bonneville High School, South Junior High School, and H. Guy Child. And so, I mean, I love where I live. I love serving in the same district. And I look around the room, and I just want to thank the people who have mentored me, taught me, coached me throughout the years, and I'm very grateful for the new opportunity. Thank you. I want to acknowledge that my wife, Kennedy, she ran over here as soon as she was done with work, and I appreciate her doing that. And then I've got my parents and my grandparents here, as well as my mother-in-law, and so I'm grateful they could be here as well.
We welcome your family and want to acknowledge your grandma and grandpa, both as former educators in Weaver School District. Carl as former principal at Bonneville High School, one of our great admirals, and director of facilities. And so, Larry, if you need a little backup on the construction, the man who built Fremont High School is right there. Yeah. Welcome. Rocky Mountain Junior High School, Brett Craner will remain as the principal. Brett's assistant will be Brooke Young. Brooke, if you want to come forward. Brooke has her Master of Science in Educational Leadership from Western Governors University, Bachelor of Science with a Business Education composite major and marketing minor from Weber State. Brooke has spent 17 years in education. Currently, she's the administrative intern at Roy High School. She's been a CTE secondary educator, FAME instructor, special ed paraprofessional, computer lab facilitator, substitute teacher, and nutrition worker. Has seen every level in our district, and I think that's so remarkable. Is the mother to 3 children, and Brooke, congratulations and welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Superintendent, President, and Board. First, I want to just say how grateful I am for the current position I'm in as an administrative intern at Roy High. It's not a better place I could have landed. So I appreciate that opportunity and the opportunity going forward to work at Rocky Mountain. I'm very excited to work and continue in that community. I also want to thank district personnel, Gina Butters and Clyde, as well as my current principal, Matt Williams. He's been just turnover in me becoming the leader that I have been. I'm grateful for other district personnel, the leadership teams I've worked with, and of course, my biggest supporters are my parents and my kids. So thank you again for this opportunity.
Junior High School, Scott Elliott will remain as principal. Mike Brown will move from North Ogden Junior High assistant principal over to Walquist Junior High as the assistant principal there. Now moving to the Roy Cone, new to Weber School District, the principal, new to Weber School District as an administrator, but not new to Weber School District because he was born and bred here. And went to school here and graduated from Fremont High School. Mike Martini. Mike, come on up. Mike has his bachelor's degree in health and business, master's of education from Utah State University, his administrative certificate from the University of Phoenix. He's been in education for 12 years. He's been a teacher of at-risk children in a group home in Davis District, teacher at Northridge, Dean of Students and Assistant Principal at South Davis Junior High and Clearfield High School, and currently he is the principal at Kaysville Junior High School. Mike and his wife, Catherine, have 3 children. Board, recently I ran into the president of the Davis Board of Education, and the first thing he said was, "You got the very best that we have in Davis School District with Mike Martini." Mike, welcome to Weber School District. Welcome back to Weber School District.
Thanks, Superintendent, Board. Appreciate the opportunity that you give for me to come back. I'm so excited. As you see, I grew up in those Westfield in Weber County. I'm so excited to be a part of the Roy Cone. I've known Matt. I've worked not with him, but beside him. If I can fill half the shoes of what he has done there, I'm so excited. I'm excited to work with Gina and follow all that she has done. I thank my family, being here, my mom, who as well, she was an educator, and then my sister, Laurie, who's here currently at Weber School District, so thank you.
It's great to see the generational things. Kathy, what a great teacher at West Weber for so many years. Mike's mother. Welcome, Kathy. Let's see. At Roy High School, Assistant Principal Jake Schultz. Jake is currently the Assistant Principal at Sandridge Junior High School and will be advanced to High School Assistant Principal. Jake has his bachelor's degree from Weber State, his Master's of Education from Southern Utah. Jake has been in education for 13 years, where he taught at Roy High School, administrative intern at Bonneville, assistant principal at Sandridge Junior High School. Jake is a Roy Royal. He was a great athlete at Roy High School.
Was.
Understand. He and his wife, Tiffany, who teaches for us at Fremont High School, an outstanding teacher at Fremont, have 4 children. Jake, congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Stevens. Board, thank you. I am excited. I am so excited to go to Roy High. As you can see, Mr. Williams gave me a hat. He says, "I know you probably don't have any Roy High gear, but I do. I have a lot of Roy High gear. I taught there, And so I'm excited to go back to Roy High. It's kind of funny. I was talking with some teachers this morning, and we were kind of sharing some of the news. I left Sandridge about 35 years ago. I did 3 years at Sandridge as a 7th, 8th, and 9th grader, went up to Roy High, and I just completed 3 years at Sandridge again. Now I'm going to go up to Roy High. So I'm thrilled and excited. I look around this room and see so many people that have influenced me professionally and personally and mentored me. Dean hired me like a long time ago, and just so many people that have influenced my life and enriched my life. I left education for a while and then came back, and it's just such an enriching and wonderful place to be. And so I'm really excited. I don't know my new boss, but I'm excited to get to know Mike. Actually, I think I saw you play football actually at Fremont. I'm guessing. So anyway, I'm excited. Thank you for the opportunity, and we'll go Royals.
Secondary intern at Roy High School is Brad Gathercole. Brad earned his bachelor's degree in physics from Weber State. He also has his science composite teaching from Western Governors University, a master's degree in educational leadership. Brad has been in education for 8 years. He taught science, physics, and served on various committees, coached baseball, softball, girls basketball, Mesa advisor, Weber Online teacher, PM coordinator for Weber Adult Ed. He's done a lot in those 8 years. He's taught at Sandridge Junior High, currently at Weber High School. He and his wife, Brianne, have 3 children. Brad, congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate this opportunity, board. Thank you. When Gina and Clyde told me guys about the opportunity to go to Roy, my first thought was it feels like going home. Since I started my teaching at Roy, in the Roy Cohn at Sandridge, it kind of feels like picking up where I left off. But first off, grateful for my wife that's here with me, Brianne. Our kids are at home with Grandma. They probably wouldn't have lasted very long. So I'm grateful for to be in this room. Just like many other people have said, I look around and see so many people who have influenced me, also being a product of Weber School District. Thankful for the principals and assistant principals that I've worked with who have kind of mentored and taken time and patience to kind of show me the ropes. So thank you.
Junior high school, of course, Rich Murray leaving to become the principal at Bonneville High School, like to name as the new Roy Junior High School, Rob Lake. Rob has his bachelor's degree in Spanish from Oregon State, where he also earned his Master's of Education. Rob has spent 22 years in education. He's been a teacher at South Ogden Junior High School, an assistant principal at Rocky Mountain Junior High, Roy High, and Weber High. Rob and his wife, Kimberly, have 4 children. Rob, congratulations.
Thank you, Superintendent, President Ritchie, Board. I'm super excited about the opportunity to go back to the Roy Cohn. I love that cone. I've been there. I've served there for 5 years, and so I'm excited to go back. Just a quick note, you have some people from Eugene, Oregon, maybe even watching today, and they're Ducks. And so I'm not sure if they're still watching now that we've gone to Longhorns. Yeah, I can see that. There's you see Rich and the energy that he brings, and he's got his Bonneville colors. I'm sorry, I wish I had a red suit to wear, but I only have a blue suit. At least this is the only one that fits anymore. So it's interesting to see former students, Skylar Kendall, now joined in the ranks. He's changed a lot. He's bigger. He has more hair in his chin, less up at top, and so it's exciting to be able to rub shoulders again with the likes of students and the great administrators that I've worked with Gina, with Nicole Maibez, with Matt Williams, now with Chris Ernest, and I thank them for their leadership and guidance, and I'm excited to be a Razorback. Thank you.
Matt, is there any chance that you could sell those red pants?
I think they might fit.
got some pants for you. Remaining as assistant principal at Roy Junior High School is Niels Hansen. At Sandridge Junior High School, Quinn Talbot will become the new principal. Quinn, come on forward if you would. Quinn has an associate degree from Snow College, a bachelor's degree from Utah State, and his master's degree from Grand Canyon University. Quinn has been 16 years in education. He was a history teacher at Walquist Junior High, where he also was the football coach. He interned at Roy High and Weber High. He's been the assistant principal at Walquist South and currently is the assistant principal at T.H. Bell. He and his wife, Amy, who is a teacher at Walquist, have 6 children. Quinn, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Stevens, President Ritchie, board, thank you for this opportunity. I'm starting my second round around the cones. Started in Roy, and I made my circle, and now I'm going back. I'm really excited to go to Sandridge and to serve the students and the parents and the community there again. I love this job. I love what we do. It's the hardest work, but it's definitely the best work. And I definitely couldn't do it without my wife, my family, my parents, my mother-in-law, the support that I have around me, and your support as well, and I thank you for that.
Thanks, Quinn. Assistant principal at Sandridge Junior High School, Jeff Jackson. Jeff has his bachelor's and master's degree from Weber State University. He also has an educational leadership certificate, 27 years in education. German teacher, math teacher at Bonneville, Sandridge, Roy Jr., Fremont, T.H. Bell. He's been a secondary administrative intern at Sandridge and currently at North Ogden Junior High School. You might remember just a couple of years ago as well, Jeff also was our district's teacher of the year. Jeff and his wife, Camille, live in Washington Terrace and have 3 children, a son-in-law, and 2 grandsons.
I got to spend a couple days at Disneyland with them. It was fun. Well, Superintendent Stevens and President Ritchie and board, I thank you so much for trusting our students to me as this opportunity. That's the reward. The reward is working with these kids and seeing them grow. And thank you for your leadership. I want to especially thank my wife, Camille, who is the love of my life and the person who I think makes me a stronger person every day. I want to thank so many of you. I can't name you because I've taught with some of you. Some of you have been my teachers. You've been my mentors. You've taught me how to be better with technology. Some of you, I owe so many of you a debt of gratitude, and thank you for that, for teaching me and making me a better person. I would like to especially thank right now, though, for the closest mentors I've had this year, Sherry Patton, Jake Schultz, and Wendy Long, and Mike Edwards for helping me to learn this leadership role better. I want to thank the teachers and students at Sandridge Junior High School and at North Ogden Junior High for giving me the opportunity to work with them and the communities. And so thank you very much.
Shifting to our secondary schools in the Weber Cone. Chris Ernest will remain as the principal at Weber High School, and we'd like to welcome, also from California, Ryan Catchold, Dr. Ryan Catchold, as the new assistant principal at Weber High School. Hopefully, we've got Ryan right there. Perfect. Ryan, let me just give a little bio and then love to have you introduce yourself. Ryan has his Bachelor of Arts degree in Classical Civilization from UCLA, where he also played college volleyball. He has his Master's of Science in Educational Leadership and Administration from Pepperdine University, a Master of Public Administration from Brandman University, and his Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership from USC. He's been 7 years in education as a teacher and currently as an assistant principal. Ryan and his wife Paige, who is a special educator and I'm sure we can take care of her, Ryan.
Thank you.
Have a 3-year-old daughter, Kenna, and 2 dogs. Ryan, welcome to Weber School District.
Thank you so much. Thank you to the board, Dr. Stevens, the rest of the Weber School District leadership. I'm very grateful for this opportunity. I'm going to be new to the Weber area professionally, but I've spent a lot of time in Utah. My siblings are lifelong residents of the area, and I'm really grateful that my personal and professional life is going to be able to align. I'm looking forward to serving the students of Weber School District and getting to know my team and being a good teammate. So thank you so much for the opportunity. And my siblings are tuning in now from that area. So thank you to them. Thank you to my wife, who's also an educator. I'm bringing my 2 short-haired dogs with me that hopefully don't resent me too much with the first Utah winter that we were there for. So thank you so much to everybody.
Out that Weber High team, Nick Reyes will remain as assistant principal, and the new intern at Weber High School is Ryan Stokes. Ryan, come on up. Ryan has his bachelor's in psychology from Weber State. He had a minor in biology, secondary education, and from Western Governors University, his master's in educational leadership. 13 years total in education, all in Weber School District. Ryan has been a biology and psychology teacher at Two Rivers High School, where he is loved. He's a science department chair, PM school coordinator at Two Rivers, the district Apex coordinator. Ryan and his wife, Kelly, have 4 children. Congratulations, Ryan, and welcome.
Thank you. I'd like to thank, oh my gosh, Superintendent Stevens, President Ritchie, and the board. This has been a long time coming. I was a business owner for 12 years before I changed pathways and became a teacher, something I swore I would never do. My wife, I want to thank her because she has been my guiding light through the whole thing, and my 4 wonderful kids who have supported me in dramatic changes later in life. I also want to thank all of the people I've worked with. There are a lot of people that have been leaders for me, mentors, friends. I feel privileged to work in this district. I am 30 years ago a graduate of Weber High School, and that is where I'm headed back. I'm excited about that, so go Warriors. Dean might not remember this, but I do. He was my vice principal at North Ogden Junior High many, many years ago. I love Weber High. I love Weber School District, and I have loved the 13 years working here. There is nothing more satisfying than the opportunity to learn and grow from the great people who work here, and also to better my skills in hopefully helping our next generation of teachers, lawyers, doctors, janitors, whatever it may be. We've got great kids, and I love the fact that I've worked with some of our greatest kids at Two Rivers High School. So go Two Rivers. Thank you again.
North Ogden Junior High School, Sherry Patton, who currently is the principal at Sandridge Junior High School, will move to North Ogden Junior High School, and her assistant principal will be Tyler King, who currently is serving as the assistant principal at Rocky Mountain Junior High School. At Orion Junior High School, Matt Patterson will remain as principal, but the new assistant there will be Ben Prawl. Ben currently is the assistant principal at South Ogden Junior High School. At Snowcrest Junior High School, I mentioned that Heather Hardy is moving to T.H. Bell, and Don Morse will become the new principal at Snowcrest Junior High School. Don has his bachelor's degree in Spanish teaching from Weber State University, his master's degree in educational leadership from Western Governors University. Don has spent 18 years in education. He's been a Spanish teacher, a volleyball and track coach, the administrative intern at Fremont, vice principal at both North Junior High and Bonneville. He and his wife, Nikki, have 3 children. Don, congratulations.
Thank you. We'll use the term track coach loosely. It's just something you're asked to do. Superintendent, President, Board, thank you
I'll be very brief. I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity. I've had many, many tremendous mentors and influences in this district, none more powerful than my own family. My awesome wife, Nikki's back here. Our 3 kids are off doing something. I think my boys are learning how to square dance tonight, so good luck, guys. Anyway, again, grateful for this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Nicole Maiba is becoming the Director of Human Resources. That leaves an opening for principal at Two Rivers, and our new principal there will be Terry Spires. Terry has her bachelor's degree from Weber State University, Master's of Educational Counseling from University of Phoenix, Master of Educational Administration from Grand Canyon University. Terry has spent 23 years in education. She has been a teacher, a coach, a counselor, assistant principal, a principal, and might I also say Terry was just very recently inducted into the Utah Sports Hall of Fame. I don't know how many great athletes are in the room, but Terry will surpass you all with 14 state championships in her high school years. Some of you will think I misspoke on that. 14 state championship. Great principal at South Ogden Junior High School right now, and we'll move to Two Rivers.
Thank you, Superintendent Stevens, President Ritchie, and amazing board. I am so excited and so honored to be the principal at Two Rivers. I am a proud product of Weber School District. I remember my earliest competitive season really as a 7th grader, rolling up as a North Ogden Knight in the bus to South Ogden Junior. And even back then, the person to be aware of was Gina Butters. And then that continued through high school, and it still continues, and I'm so honored. I mean, there are so many faces and so many people in this room that have just really led me, mentored me, and have really influenced me, and I am so grateful for that. I didn't get to thank you for allowing me and believing in me to be the principal at South Ogden Junior because of COVID. Thank you. Incredible school, incredible community, faculty, and I'm so honored and excited to fill Nicole's shoes at Two Rivers, where she's done some amazing things and continue that climb. So thank you again.
Let's move to the changes that we have in our elementary schools. At Bates Elementary School, Brent Hogan will become the new principal at Bates Elementary. Currently, Brent is the principal at Roy Elementary. At Orchard Springs, with Mary Jo moving to the director of elementary education, there's an opening, and would like to announce Becky Deals as the new principal at Orchard Springs Elementary. Becky has her Bachelor of Science degree from Weber State University and her master's degree from Western Governors University in educational leadership. Becky has spent 26 years in education. She's been a kindergarten, first grade, third grade teacher, a reading specialist, an instructional coach, and currently the administrative intern. She and her husband Joel have a daughter, Jessica, who is married to Colton, a grandson, and a granddaughter.
Thank you, Dr. Stevens, President Ritchie, and esteemed board. I am so humbled and honored to stand before you today to be able to take the reins of an incredible administrator at Orchard Springs. I hope to serve those students, parents, and faculty in a way that will make you proud. I love the students and have always loved being an educator. I have also been a huge lover of, that's the wrong word, but I've loved Weber School District. I have to tell you, I have appreciated the support and the caring the care that's been given to me through this district, and I couldn't be more honored to be a part of it. I would like to introduce my husband, Joel. He has been my biggest supporter. He has been very patient with my long hours that I've worked throughout my career, and the fact that sometimes I have put my career above my family, but I am a family person. I want you to know that. I also am very appreciative to my parents. They raised me to have a very strong work ethic and to put my all into everything that I do. My cute grandson at home is probably waving and saying hi to grandma right now. My grandson and granddaughter are sick, and so my daughter and son-in-law stayed home, but I know that they're watching, and I just want to thank you for this opportunity. And also, I'd like to thank, there are so many people in this building that have mentored me and that I have looked up to for so many years. And I have tried to emulate the characteristics in them that have made them the people that I want to be. So I just want to share my appreciation with all of you. Thank you.
Rick Proffer's retirement at Birch Creek would like to name Katie Amsden as the new principal at Birch Creek. She currently is the principal at Washington Terrace Elementary. With Kitty Barney's retirement at Roosevelt, we'd like to name Shelley Harris as the principal at Roosevelt. Shelley, if you want to come forward. Shelley has her Bachelor of Arts degree from Dixie State University and her master's degree in reading and literature from Walden University, her administrative endorsement from Utah State University. 18 years in education. She's taught first, second, and third grades. She's been a reading specialist. She's been a Title I coordinator and currently an administrative intern. She has 3 grown children, a granddaughter and another on the way, and engaged to be married on June 3rd. There you go.
Dr. Stevens, President Ritchie, and awesome board. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. I'm humbled and I'm overwhelmed, but I am so grateful for the trust that you put in me, and it's a privilege to work in Weber School District. I've had the opportunity to work just little stints elsewhere, and there's no comparison. So we are blessed to be here in Weber School District. I'd like to thank Casey, my fiance back there. I found a keeper. I'm very excited to be his wife soon, and so grateful for my children, and I think they're watching. They may have got sidetracked. I don't know. It's been a long night, so they may have pressed pause. I don't know, but I love them very much, and I'm grateful to be their mom. So grateful for this opportunity, and again, thank you to all my mentors and good people in this room, and so many great colleagues I'm so excited to work with, and thank you.
Joanne Hobbs' retirement from West Weber would like to name Laura Wright as the principal. Laura will be coming from Bates Elementary School. Would like to name as the new principal at Roy Elementary, David Thal, who is new to Weber School District. Dave, do you want to come forward? David has his associate degree from Ricks College and his bachelor's degree from Lewis and Clark State College. And his master's degree from UNLV. 22 years in education. David has taught 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades. He's also been a behavior mentor and dean, administrative intern, and currently an assistant principal in the Davis School District. David, welcome to Weber School District.
Superintendent, President Ritchie, board, thank you so much for this opportunity. I look around and I know nobody. I know Mike, because we attend occasional meetings together. But I heard somebody say that Weber feels like a family. And in my very limited time here, I feel that already. I just want to thank you, and I appreciate this opportunity You know, life is quite a journey, and the opportunity I have now is what I've been waiting for quite some time. So I really appreciate and I'm humbled by that opportunity. And what journey would be complete without people to share it with? My family's here. My wife Holly, my son Caden, who said I better thank him. My daughter McKenna, and my three daughters, McKenna, Avery, and Addison. So thank you so much, and I look forward to getting to know all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Katie Amsden, moving over to Birch Creek, would like to name Jeff Marchant as the new principal at Washington Terrace Elementary School. Jeff has his bachelor's degree from Weber State, his master's from Utah State. He's been in education for 30 years. He's been a teacher at Morgan High School, Mountain View Elementary. He's been an assistant principal at South Weber Elementary and Adams Elementary, Orion Junior High, Fremont High. He was a principal at Sanders Junior High and Two Rivers. Jeff becomes one of two principals now that I know who's been a principal for us at the elementary, junior high, and high school level, and that just shows the range and breadth and all the gifts that Jeff brings to this role. Jeff, congratulations.
Thank you, Superintendent, President Ritchie, and Board. Thank you so much. I'm honored with the trust that you are placing in me. I'd like to recognize my wonderfully supportive wife, Jill, through thick and thin. 16 years ago, I was pulled away from the elementary school world into the oh-so-exciting secondary world, and I've loved every school that I've had the opportunity to work with. And I wasn't sure I'd have the chance to go back, but I'm so thrilled. I am so excited. I love the Washington Terrace community, and I can't wait to dig in and get to know the people, the kids, the parents, the teachers, the staff. Thank you again for this opportunity.
Thanks, Jeff. Valley Elementary, where she's been currently serving as the intern principal, Crystal Deemer. Crystal has her Bachelor of Science degree in elementary education from Weber State, her Master of Art degree in education from Grand Canyon, and her administrative supervisory endorsement from Utah State. Crystal's been in education for 16 years. She's been a teacher of first grade, fourth grade. She's done a fourth-fifth split, and she's been an administrative intern, and as I mentioned, currently the interim principal at Valley Elementary. She and her husband, Matt, who also works for us currently as a counselor at North Ogden Junior High, have one son, Camden, and two daughters.
First off, I want to thank you, Superintendent Stevens, President Ritchie, and Board for placing the privilege and opportunity to serve at Valley this year as the interim. I've grown to love that community so much, and the faculty there and everybody who just comes together to support the kids there I've been so impressed with. So I'm thrilled to continue my opportunities there and to continue growing as an administrator and leader there with them. They've been really supportive of me, and so it's a good fit mutually, and so just so grateful for that. And then as I look around the room, my heart is just full of so much gratitude. I see many mentors that have impacted my decision to take this path into leadership and to leave the classroom, which I do miss, but it's fun to have an impact in a bigger circle of influence. And so I want to thank especially Lori for that influence that she's had on my direction this way, and all of the principals that have supported me as an intern too, and the continued support that they give me. And my biggest supporter of all, my husband, Matt, he's truly amazing, and I absolutely wouldn't be here without his support. So thank you.
Currently serving as the interim principal at Uinta and would like to appoint him as the principal at Uinta, Mike Yardley. Mike has his bachelor's in elementary education from Weber State, master's from Western Governors University, in technology education and his educational leadership endorsement, that's a master's degree in educational leadership from Western Governors. Mike has spent 18 years in education. He's taught 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. He's been a Title I coordinator at Roy Elementary, an administrative intern, and as I mentioned, currently the interim principal at Uinta. Mike, congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Stevens, President Ritchie, and board. I'm super excited to keep this opportunity going. I've loved being at Uinta this year, and I've really grown close to those teachers and learned a lot of things. I'm super grateful for my wife that's here, and I was able to bring my 2 youngest daughters. The other 5 kids are somewhere else right now, hopefully watching on YouTube like they said they would. And my little grandbaby might even be saying grandpa if he's not asleep. So I'm really looking forward to this opportunity to continue at Uinta and continuing to work here at Weber School District. I love the opportunity I have of working with these kids. Thanks.
Heather Nilsson becoming the elementary supervisor, would like to name Sherilyn Elliott as the principal at Plain City Elementary. Sherilyn has her bachelor's degree in education from Utah State. She has her master's degree in psychology from Utah State and her administrative endorsement from Western Governors University. Sherilyn has spent 18 years in education where she's taught 5th grade and 6th grade and most recently been just a very successful, effective school counselor for us. She and her husband, Scott, who is the principal at Walquist Junior High School, have 4 children. And Sherilyn, we congratulate you.
Thank you. I want to just thank you so much. And thank you to President Ritchie and every member of the board. And there's so many people in this room that I literally owe so much thanks to and have just really influenced my life. And I'm so, I could just probably 100 people that I could name right here. I'm going to Plain City. I'm so excited. I can't even express how excited I am that I get to stay at Plain City where I've been a counselor. I'm a product of Plain City Elementary. All 3 of my kids are products of Plain City Elementary. I started teaching at a wonderful school and worked my way back to teach at Plain City Elementary. I started counseling at wonderful schools and I worked my way back to counsel at Plain City Elementary. So to say I'm invested is an understatement. So I really just love this opportunity and I love the people there. I just want to recognize my mom and dad, Kathy and Gary DeVries, out in the foyer. He's got a broken ankle, so he's got his ankle propped up on his scooter. I can't even tell you where I'd be without them. And my 3 kids are in the doorway. Jake and Marissa are married, and then Brock is kind of, peek your heads in, you guys. And they're incredible humans. I have a daughter, Jamie, at home who's in training for a church mission right now. And so she wasn't able to come. But I am so excited. I will tell you, I went home and I really did jump up and down. So but I'm in elementary, so it's okay. So, thank you. Wait a minute. I have a husband. I was scared I was going to do that because he's sitting behind me and I did it. Scott, most of you know him and he is unforgettable. So he really is he is why I'm here. So thank you and I apologize.
Sherilyn, he might be why you're here, but he's there. I was principal at South Ogden Junior High years ago, and we were looking for a special education teacher. And I'd heard that there was one available, and I called Sherilyn, and I just remember, and I taught Sherilyn, and I just remember asking, "This husband of yours, is he any good?" She assured me he was, and how grateful we are to have both Scott and Sherilyn in our district. Answer's still the same. Board, that takes care of our elementary principals, but we have 4 new elementary interns, and let me introduce them. The first is Tana Chip. Tana has her Bachelor's of Science degree in elementary education from Weber State, her Master of Education from Southern Utah University. She's been in education for 13 years. She's taught 5th grade at Hooper and Canesville. Currently, she is the Title I coordinator at Roy Elementary. She and her husband have 2 sons. Congratulations, Tana.
Thank you, Dr. Stevens, and thank you to the board. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I would have never have expected this to happen. So thank you so much. I really want to give a big shout out to my husband who needs to hurry and leave because our children need to get to their basketball game. So I just want to say thank you so much for all the support that you have given me throughout the years. You believed in me the whole way. So thank you, honey. I also want to say a big shout out to Dave Hells and Cami Alexander. You guys are missing out in secondary. I know you have amazing people too, because Gina Butters is amazing, but they don't get enough appreciation. They really do so much, and it's all behind the scenes, so you don't see it as much. But thank you so much for believing in me. I also know Gina. She was actually my psychology teacher in high school. That's what got me to college. And then I took that course and I was like, oh, yeah, no. Cool like Gina. So he didn't convince me that's where I wanted to be. So I grew up in Weber School District, love it. And I'm now raising my 2 wonderful boys in it. And I am so excited to work with these kids in Weber School District. I took over for Mike Yardley 2 years ago as the Title I coordinator. And I remember just going to his office like, what do you do? Help me. And he just said, just love those kids. And I said to him, I'm like, I can do that. I can do that. So I'm full of love and I'm so excited to help and serve in the Weber School District. Thank you.
Thank you, Tana. Turn Renelle Cox. Renelle has her Bachelor of Science degree in early childhood education and a master's degree in curriculum and instruction, a K-12 special education endorsement, and an administrative supervisory license, those from Weber State and Utah State. Renelle has spent 29 years in education. She's taught resource 1st grade, 2nd, and 5th grade. She's been a K-4 behavior unit teacher. Renelle and her husband, Gary, have 3 sons. Renelle, congratulations. And one, sorry, I didn't get to the end of that. Sorry, one daughter. Don't want to leave the daughter out.
No. Superintendent Stevens, thank you, and President Ritchie and board. I am so grateful for this opportunity. I am so excited for this next step in my career, and I just look forward to it. I was told once by a very important special man that if you wanted to love more children than just the 30 in your class, this was the next step. And I am so excited to serve a new group of people. I'm excited to serve a new group in the community and to love the people and the children that are there. I am excited to love more than just the 30 in my class and to help and to serve there. I'm very grateful for my husband and my 4 children who are home watching and for the many meals that they fixed for me and laundry that they've done so that I could continue with my education. I look around the room and I see so many heroes that have taken time out of their day and out of their schedule to offer me those precious teaching moments that they have given me. And I'm so grateful for that and for this opportunity. Thank you.
So is a new intern, Heather Georgie. Heather has her bachelor's degree in elementary education from Weber State, her master's degree in special education from Western Governors University. Currently, Heather is attending Grand Canyon University for her educational doctorate in organizational leadership with an emphasis on K-12. Heather has been 15 years in education. She has taught a split, a first grade split. That would not be an easy split to have. Fifth grade and a mild moderate special education class. Heather is a wife and a mother to 6 children ranging in age from 4 to 24. You're busy.
Yeah. Thank you, Superintendent. Thank you, Board. Thank you, Mr. Hells, for taking a chance on me so many years ago. I want to thank my husband, who is not a sports fan, but when I decided to make the decision to pursue my doctorate, described it as me being the carry, and he's going to clear the path, and he's done that every day. And then I also want to thank, she's not here, but Cindy Hillstrom. She saw something in me that I couldn't see in myself, and she's actually the instigator for me to go back to school and pursue this leadership position. So I just want to thank you all for your trust, and I cannot wait to learn and grow more.
So as an elementary intern, Jennifer Thomas. Jen has her bachelor's degree from Weber State, and where she also has a reading endorsement from Southern Utah, currently attending Western Governors University, pursuing her master's degree in educational leadership. Jennifer has 12 years in education. She has taught first, second, and sixth grade. She's also been a reading specialist and instructional coach. She's been a letters trainer, and any elementary teacher in the room knows all about letters training and how significant that is. And currently she's a Title I coordinator. Jennifer and her husband, Danny, who teaches for us at Fremont, have 3 daughters, Ellie, Ryan, and Izzy.
Thank you, Dr. Stevens. Thank you, Board. I'm the last one. Yay, right? So, my first year teaching, I had Linda Anderson was my principal. And she said, Jen, you need to be in this spot. You need to be a principal. And I was like, what? Are you serious? She's like, I'm dead serious. This is where you belong. And so, Linda, thank you for inspiring. And I think great leaders inspire other leaders. And my goal is to inspire more leaders along the way. So I'm thankful that I get this chance to help and support other teachers and students along the way. I'd like to thank my husband, who was cutting out lamination last night for me and who's done numerous teaching tasks for me, and my daughters that helped me get 500 spoons and cups for my school recently. They're like, really, this whole shopping cart's full of your school stuff? And I'm like, yes, it is. We got to get this going. So thank you. They've been great supporters, and I'm so excited for this next step. So thank you.
And Board, I've been at this a long time, and I don't know that I remember a year where there were more changes, more opportunities, more enthusiasm and excitement. And I want to tell you that I believe wholeheartedly that the team that is put in place at the district level under Gina's leadership and at each of our schools will move this district forward in remarkable ways. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Stevens. It takes a village to raise a kid, and having been a recipient of this district, there's been a lot of mentors that coached me at Roy High in his science class. But we have the best of the best in this district, and you've seen it all. When you talk about family, this is a family. And I know it's been a long night, but to just do one thing, anybody that was a graduate or was in the school district, stand, please. And I know there's a lot because they've said it a lot. Stand, but I'm talking. Yeah, keep going. We're going to outdo the Ogden Tigers. Now, how many of you are teachers in our district? Principals, anything in our district? Scott, I know you guys are. Half of this audience should be standing. This is why I'm talking. All right. Yeah, this is why I didn't do well in school, but I'm serving on the board is because of what you guys are right there. It starts at the top. While we're standing, I would like to just take a minute and recognize our retiring superintendent. Would you join me in that just for this short minute? Because of his leadership that I think you guys are where you're at. I know that's why I'm here, and we appreciate him. And we look forward to the new legacy that's being led by what Dr. Stevens just mentioned with Gina and the changes. It is a big change. But I probably echo the board, thank you for your dedication, your love for kids. I could not do it. But my grandkids and my kids were recipients of you. And because of that, we're a family, and we thank you. Every one of you touched my kids somehow. Herr Jackson, if I'd have known you were in Disneyland, you could have bought me a blue milk, but I didn't know. With that, board, we've come to the end of our agenda, and I'd entertain a motion to dismiss. Moved by Paul, second by Jan. All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much, everybody. Be safe going home and enjoy your next school year.